So, Jeffrey, if there was one language that you've never studied, because at the end of yesterday's episode, I kind of butchered the word. But if there's one language that you've never studied, right? We all have to take something in school.
Yes.
You know, I took this language called English that my teacher kept saying. Let's see, you were born and raised here, right?
Well, maybe it was the King's English. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Anyway, if there's one language that you've never studied, but you really wanted to learn, what would it be?
It pops into my head, probably Italian.
Yeah.
I just think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It just rolls and it's just beautiful, and I think,
Got a little attitude to it.
yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that goes with it, It's just,
It's a love language. I mean, it's right up your alley,
without a
man.
doubt.
Yeah, it's just,
Without a doubt,
the shaved head, the good-looking guy, the chicks.
Oh boy. Okay, what do you want?
Here we go. You got the violins going, the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, Brent. What do you want, Brent? How much is this going to cost me?
I need your full attention. Guys, another weird intro to another episode of the Gold Ball Hunting Podcast. I'm Brent Abel. That dude over there, Jeff Jacklich, and we are Gold Ball Hunting, and we are publishing something new every day, which is just like craziness 10x.
Amazing.
But we're doing it,
Yeah.
and this is episode number 170. So we've done something for the last 170 days, and we've committed to do at least 365. Of course, knowing our luck, it'll be a leap year, so we got to do 366. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, we can celebrate that by wearing a funny hat or something.
Okay. All right. So. And we're trying to help three different types of players. We're trying to help tournament guys, right? Tournament guys and gals who love to play tournaments, whether it's local, national, international, but are stuck at kind of a certain skill level, which is not allowing them to really progress in the tournament. And at least start with having some good results where you get your name up in red, as you like to say, on the draw board, which shows that you're one of the top 8 seeds in that event, which is always kind of fun to see. And you've earned it, right? Because the tournament director goes, wow, this guy's actually beating someone good. We need to seed them away from the other players because the other top players don't want to have to deal with this guy in the first round.
Not that early.
No.
Not that early.
League players, right? You guys, gals, you're playing league. Maybe you want to actually get a better or a higher rating label. We're here to help you do that. Maybe you just want to win a higher percentage of matches, whatever label you're at right now. I know that you don't really dig the league, some of the league stuff too much, Jeff, but that's for another episode.
Well, it serves. Let me say this: it gets a lot of people out playing tennis, and it serves a purpose and all that. So,
no question.
I get it. I get it. So.
And then the third group is the Wednesday night crew. Guys and gals who really maybe don't play too much of the formal competitive stuff, either league or tournaments, or maybe you play tournaments and leagues and you do the Wednesday night thing. You go out there, you got your 4 guys, your 4 gals every Wednesday night. You show up after work, and you're looking to sort of be the man, be the woman at the end of that two or three sets. So they have to buy you the beer. And so really kind of the cool thing with that Wednesday night thing is you kind of go, yeah, man, I haven't had to buy beers for, I don't know, 7 months? So I'll take another Pacifico, please.
Exactly.
Anyway, a little trash talking. So, and the other thing that we are offering is a couple things that, and I'm just doing this because I'm assuming that this might be the first time you've ever kind of leaned into one of our podcast episodes. We got 2 things for you. Number one, if you go over to goldballhunting.com and jump on our email list, all you have to do is put in a first name and email, click the button, and you'll get 2 very cool things. Number one, Jeff, you and I recorded a video back in January about
Right.
building confidence in your tennis game by reducing your skill level range, which you and I haven't talked about for a while. But
Right.
real short skill level range is one day you play great, and the next day, you go home that night, honey, this tennis thing, I have finally got it figured out. And they got the next day, and you lay a big goose egg, and you go home, and she can sense, or he can sense, maybe you don't quite have this thing figured out yet. One day great, the next day not so great. So there's a range there that we want to help you really kind of tidy up, so that every time you go out there is that you know that you're kind of predictable. You're going to play at the top of your skill level range, pretty darn close to it day in and day out. We got a free video for you on that. And then the other thing too is we're offering a free 10-minute coaching call. All right? You, me, and Jeff, we get in the phone for 10 minutes. May not sound enough, but if you'll bring that number one thing in your game right now that's kind of you haven't quite figured out, but you knew that if you did figure it out, wow, you'd be on, well, maybe not quite on the tour playing Wimbledon as I'm watching right now over the top of my laptop, but pretty darn close to it. And so jump on that call and get that free video, goalballhunting.com. So Jeff, I've been blathering away because I've had 1.5 cups of coffee, and I got, here's what I want to talk about. Anything you want to say before I kind of tee up the topic? Are you fully asleep? I'm going to slap you around.
I'm sorry.
Wake up.
Are you still talking?
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, I put you into the numb zone there. You know what I want to talk about today, Jeff, is a lot of the players we talk to are quote unquote senior players, old enough to where they may consider, hey, you know what? I'm whatever number they say they are age-wise, right. And they go, and the thought is, the big excuse is, well, I just can't get any better. Why would I try this thing because I can't get any better? And so, for me, I just go, that's the biggest bunch of horse crap in the entire world. Right. Now, look, there are some realities involved, right? I mean, as we get older, we do slow down. We're not as fast, not as quick, not as strong. Maybe we won't have the same endurance. But there are some things that we can do to mitigate that. Number one, we can get insanely fit, which would most players, 99.9% of players out there are not insanely fit. That if you did focus on that, nothing else, you worked on fitness, you worked in the gym, you did the nutritional stuff, you got faster than what you are now. You could actually play for 3 hours if you needed to, because the guy's out there playing out of his mind, and you finally close him out 7-5 in the third. You could actually improve some stroke technique, I think, and we talked about this yesterday or 2 days ago, by actually reducing the amount of stroke technique you've got and get back to core fundamentals so you become more consistent. Well, that's one way to improve. But the other way to improve is to just play a ton of sets, whether they're practice sets or league or tournament or whatever, but something that's on the line so that you start to gain some more experience. And to me, experience is really about, I've hit a ball over there, I'm here, my opponent's there. What shot is most likely going to come back?
Yeah.
So why can't, so to me, the whole age thing, and I hear this is the whole thing, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Bologna. Back to the language thing we've been on for a few days.
The language thing. Yeah. Okay, Captain Oscar Mayer.
That's right. You little wiener. But I mean, do you experience that with some of your students in terms of, lots of players have got excuses why they can't do this or why they can't do that, or they got a knee injury, or they played for Ohio State back in the day with Woody Hayes, and Woody Hayes turned them into a practice tackling dummy, and they, because they weren't first string, and so now they got this knee that they're just kind of carrying around.
Right.
The age thing, help me out here, Jeff, with the age thing.
Well, I think, for me, in my experience, teaching and coaching all these years and dealing with, and the league play is what really where it really shows itself the most, I think, because there's an immediate result, there's immediate consequence, there's an immediate, whatever it might be. When things change for you, is it an injury or a former injury, or I used to be a 4.5 and now I'm a 4.0, and so it's kind of there's a phase of denial that, well, yes, when you were a 4.5 you were 40 years old, and now you're 55, and I'm not talking about former players or that kind of thing. I'm talking about, your league players, people that didn't play college ball, they picked up tennis later in life, or they played high school tennis and it's become a social thing, and now they play league tennis. And they started out really strong, and then maybe there was a 5-year gap in there or something. All kinds of consequences, erupt, and then they come back to the game, or like I said, whatever, but their game hasn't evolved. It hasn't changed at all. And so there's this expectation in your head that somehow your game, I'm a 4.5 forever, and nothing could be farther from the truth. And the only way to make sure to make 4.5 or to make 4.0 stay farther away is your ability to see the truth and adapt. So for me, the way I would help my students adapt is to teach them how to use their skill set that they have currently better. Listen, quit trying to, you were on vacation in Hawaii and you took a lesson from this great pro and blah, 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 and you really had me, blah, 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 with this or that, whatever. And now it's just they can't hit a ball.
Yeah. All right.
Because there's no context to it. It was great because he was feeding balls for an hour, the perfect ball, and then now there's no context to it, so they try to play with it, and it's just nowhere to be found because you hit it for an hour, and you hit, so there's nothing there. So getting better has so many different facets to it, like you said earlier, and that is, if I got in better shape, if I improved my mobility by 5%. Is that the tipping point against, Bob, Ralph, and Kevin? If I improve my mobility by 10%, is that the tipping point for, well, I know I got Bob, Ralph, and Kevin, but now is it John, Terry, and William? Whatever, right? It's how many guys do we start to stack up just because your mobility's better? That you used to beat regularly, but now you struggle with this one group of guys, and now the other guys are starting to kind of feel like they're creeping up on you a little bit. And so does that actually make a difference? And the answer, of course, is yes. So for me, I think the best way for somebody that says, I can't get any better, is I don't even think you need to address the tennis portion of it first.
Right.
Address the physicality of being in better shape.
Right.
Eating better, cleaner diet, so your cognitive, functions are actually clearer. You think clearer. You see. You process things better. Your emotions are going to be better in check because your cognitive thinking is better. And then the physicality of feeling like, what, I'm actually getting out to that ball now. And making just a good rally ball out of it. I'm hitting one more ball back, and that one more ball seems to be where Kevin can't see. He starts to get a little nervous now, and so that alone, changes the course of a match. And I think that's just the easiest part, and you don't have to touch a tennis ball to actually get better.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no question about that, and for sure, I just I want to emphasize that there's a whole 101 different excuses the players come up with as to why they can't get better, why they want to stay here.
I think I could think of 102.
Okay, well, one day we'll do that. We'll just start off with number one, and we'll see how far we can go. But the age one is in there, and you know, I just want to encourage players that if you're at a certain age, whatever that number is, and if you're telling yourself, hey, and I get emails frequently from players who are describing their game, and they say, you know what, I'm 72 years old, and so that means I can't, I'm limited, I can only do, and I write back to them, and I the first question I ask them is, say, are you carrying around any extra weight? I don't even go into anything else.
Right.
And most of the time they, well, yeah, I mean, I could probably, you know, lose 7 or 8 pounds. And I write back and say, well, what's the plan? What are you going to do today to start the process to lose the 7, 8? Because a couple of good things will happen if you get your weight down to where it should be for your skeletal system. You mentioned a lot of great things in there, but the other thing that's going to happen is you are going to visually track a moving tennis ball a whole lot better. No matter what age you're at, no matter what skill level you're at, no matter what stroke technique you're bringing to the party, if you visually track a moving tennis ball better, your spacing will get better. It'll become more consistent. Your timing is when you deliver the racket against the ball, the ideal point of contact for your stroke technique gets better. And all that means, when you add all that stuff up, by losing the 7 or 8 pounds, is you're a more consistent shot maker. And now that you're
better,
you're all better. All of a sudden, the guys are going, wait. Could you hang with us another month or two? No, I'm out of here. Right. So, hey, listen, I got to scoot. I got to get on the court here. But guys, listen, I hope this resonated with you. If you're in whatever age group and you're using the age thing as an excuse, stop it. Don't do it anymore. It's just a big fat story that it
is a story.
It's just holding you back.
Total story.
So, okay, well, listen, Jeff, on that, we're going to wrap it up. What would we like to find folks to do at this moment?
Like us, share us, please subscribe, let us know what you think. You can improve your tennis just by doing that.
Outstanding. Guys, get out there today. Start losing that 7, 8, or 9, and make it a great day. Maybe help someone else lose another 7 or 8 or 9 or something like that.
What the heck?
Could you stop me right now, please? Cut me off.
We're out.
Good.
We're
Jeff,
out.
wait, one more thing. Let's do this again tomorrow in some form or fashion.
Okay.
Can't wait. Oh boy.